What is the most important employability skills in your opinion?
Okay, I think when you're young, one of the most important things is actually the attitude that you take into a new role. Employers want to see people that have got a very go-get-them attitude, open to sort of trying different things, willing to learn and pick up sort of new skills as well. I think you can obviously do quite a lot of research prior to sort of picking up, going into your first role as well. So when you interview, it's always very good to have a good understanding of the company and what they do, so that you've shown that you've really sort of researched and that you've put some work into going after that role.
What kind of work experience activity will help young people prepare for a job in your sector?
At Ricardo, the most common jobs that we have obviously we're predominantly engineer level, but obviously we have people that work on a sort of blue collar level as shop floor workers and technicians. So regarding sort of work experience, I would say when you're young, try and sort of phone around a few local engineering companies. See if you can get some weekend work or part-time work, anything that really sets you apart on your CV. So if you've got a couple of people applying for the same job, very similar qualifications academically, what might actually get you the interview over someone else is that you've done some hands-on work, whether it be at a local company or whether it be a larger company, it doesn't really matter, just to show that you've had that experience in the industry.
What information do you look for on a young person's CV?
So once again, regarding the information on a young person's CV, I look at it would depend upon which position they applied for. So if we look at something such as an assembly technician, where you've probably come through an apprenticeship route, it will be things such as once again the work experience we spoke about, which college you went to. Minimum qualifications for something like that would be GCSEs. So at Ricardo, we'd look at someone to have a C grade or above in at least sort of maths, English and science. If you're looking at an engineering job, then we would be looking at graduates. So once again, it would be which degree did you get, a 2-1, 2-2, what did you actually have your degree in, okay, so BEng, etc. And the university can sometimes set someone apart, depending on which university they went to and the reputation that has too.
Do people stay in your company and progress, or do they need to move elsewhere to further their career?
So yes, I think these days it's very important that companies do promote from within, because obviously retention is one of the biggest issues in the modern sort of workplace. You want to try and keep your best employees, so rather than see them sort of move on to other companies to achieve what they want to. So at Ricardo, yes, we very much do promote from within. We've got guys at director level that started off as engineers, and we do have sort of a flow of people from, we grade it basically, so we have like a C grade, and you can move up D, E, F, all the way up to director level.
What are the different entry levels to get into your career or sector, and what can I expect the progression routes to be? And how would I progress? What would I need to do, like extra training, qualifications?
Quite a few questions there. So we'll start off with the first one was the different ways you can get in. So I think I sort of covered that a little bit, but basically the two main sort of ways of getting in are sort of an apprenticeship, which we actually run an apprenticeship scheme. So that would generally be from a GCSE level or a college level. Then we also run a very successful graduate scheme. So we actually go around to look at university graduates and obviously try and pick out the best ones. And they can apply yearly, and we take a quota every year. And that would be sort of more on the engineering level. Yeah.
How can young people best prepare themselves for work?
Yeah, with interviews, like I said, I think one of the main important things to do is research the company as much as possible. Make sure you know exactly what they do, what your role would entail. And through that research, you'll come up with questions, which are very important because you need to remember that an interview is a two-way process. So as much as people are interviewing you, you should be interviewing that company. Is this a company I want to work for? Is this going to give me the possibilities that I'm looking for? And companies really like to see a two-way process during an interview. So yeah, if you can do that background research, it quite often sets you apart.